I say I am not going to be caught in some clip being super blasé about this. I don't think the sky is falling, but only one team wins the cup a year. You had questions about Edmonton's viability and whether or not they are laying low or whether they are just actually low.
Yeah, I mean, well, this whole season has been just kind of these weird swings for the Oilers, and they have played pretty bad hockey for extended periods of time. They've played really good hockey for extended periods of time, but there's a very good chance that we're not going to see the playoff Edmonton Oilers until game one of the playoffs. And a lot of these guys will have never played together. And if you get off on a bad foot, they're going to be out pretty quickly.
Yeah, Hyman said to us, he was like, well, you got to consider that like we haven't seen ourselves yet. That's very exciting because there's guys who have been there before and are like, we're going to add this, we're going to add that. But we've seen a lot of super teams like from the beginning of the year in various sports that it never quite clicks. I'm not super worried about the Panthers or the Oilers because I think that they should still be favored in their first round matchups and maybe they can get a little momentum. But that does not mean there is not legitimate reason for concern with both of these teams. We've been surprised by way, way, way crazier things than a roster that has not played together, that was missing guys, that had their best players sitting out, not being able to come together and click. I'll say I'm not worried about Draisaitl because even if he is hurt, he plays hurt and he's usually amazing. As an Oilers fan, I hope that they're just being cautious with McDavid. But then there's like 4 more guys on that list. Ekholm, what's he going to be when he comes back? Ekholm hasn't been great this season anyway. Skinner is going to be back. Stuart is going to be back at some point soon. That's great, but he's had a bad season. So to you, I say I am not going to be caught in some clip being super blasé about this. I don't think the sky is falling, but only one team wins the cup a year. And this is a team certainly that if they lose in the Western Conference Finals, it's going to be a disappointment. If they lose in the first round, it's going to be a disappointment. So is it plausible that this is some sort of doomed season? Yes. The fact that they paid for double retention on 7 minutes and 10 seconds of Trent Frederick does not make me feel good. I will say, though, I think it's plausible that both Edmonton, with being careful with the health of their players, and the Panthers, with kind of fudging the numbers and cheating and resting guys a little too much, are saying we've made deep runs for a while now. Let's be careful. Let's play possum. But who knows? Both these teams could be out in the first round.
Yeah, I could see Edmonton losing in like 5 games in the first round and being out, or I could see them making it back to the Stanley Cup final. Either one applies. I do have more faith in the Panthers being a more ready team for game one of the playoffs based off of the coaching, based off of like the fact that they're more built for the playoffs and they've got a little bit more experience as a group.
I'll give you the other side of that, though, which is what if they are being super careful and everybody could be playing today? If the playoffs began today, all these guys would be in and they're going to be well rested and they're going to be fresh, and add Jake Wallman to that, who has been really, really good. Then they're better than we expected. So that's the kind of glass half full, glass half empty look at the Edmonton Oilers.
We all silly like the mayor.